$170 billion was wiped out from the cryptocurrency market cap in the past 24 hours, as well as $22 billion worth of crypto options are set to expire today. And over the past 24 hours, Donald Trump has issued more tariffs across the board. Ray Dalio says that we are heading into very, very, very dark times. And today we also got PCE report, which is the Fed's preferred inflation measure, coming in exactly in line with expectations, which puts us perfectly on this fear and greed scale at a neutral. The overall sentiment is that there is slightly risk on with a little bit of optimism, aka the markets are cautiously bullish right now, but are technically setting up for a bearish move. Guys, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Watch until the end of the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Welcome to the channel. Join the family, join the Discord, all that stuff. Let's first touch on Ethereum coming perfectly, damn near perfectly to our zone that we called out yesterday, right at 3,800. It came to 3,825 or so. You can see this wick basically touched our zone. Bitcoin coming all the way down to 109, slipping beneath it, 108,900. Now, Bitcoin is in a very particular spot, and I'm going to give you some levels that I said to Discord as well. As long as Bitcoin holds above 109, the trend stays bullish. Yet you can see right now that we are slipping beneath it. And if we drop below 107, there is a short-term bias on Bitcoin. That means Bitcoin is very, very, very weak. And we are going to look at entry levels at 107, 103, and 99K with a stop loss at 97 and a possible wick down to 98 as the bearish short-term case scenario, aka the long liquidation scenario, with a target still at 131K. We still believe Bitcoin by the dip is completely intact. Gold, all-time highs, silver, all-time highs. Money is flowing. There's a lot of money in circulation right now, and the money is flowing into safe assets, safer assets, until we're not cautiously bullish anymore, until we get some sort of confirmation, possibly from the Fed or somewhere else. And today's news was completely neutral. This wasn't bad news, technically kind of good, but it was kind of neutral. And that's why markets are basically flat. The SPY broke below a couple of levels, but it also held up pretty well after getting some wicks down here to 654.50. I have a slight bearish outlook on the SPY that it looks to be setting up for a hard move down. If we get a hard move down, I think it's going to be temporary. It's going to come down to a couple levels that I called out yesterday. In my opinion, nothing I say is financial advice, but 645 is a level that we are going to be watching. If we get a hold at a very, very close level, 652.80, I don't want us to hold there if we break trend, because I think a healthier correction will lead to a harder, faster move higher and will make us more money overall. Ultimately, I do see some sort of flush coming, possibly the beginning of next week, possibly coming down to 646 or in this zone sub 640, between 636 and 643. And then if we want to go lower and get a 6 to 8% correction instead of a 4 to 6%, I would watch 613.50 on the overall market. And right now, again, our outlook isn't to call out what is going to happen. The outlook is that I am slightly having a bearish bias in the very, very short term. I think this trend is looking weak right here. Okay, I think the market is looking heavy. Now, if that is wrong, that is still very good. I think investors right now are cautiously optimistic based on what we've seen. And one trigger, one catalyst can cause us to rally higher. But even for our meme plays as well as altcoins, a flush further quicker, I believe, is more bullish for risk on assets. And I think risk on assets will get the move as soon as we get a confirmation catalyst, and that's what the markets are waiting for. Now, GameStop net call premiums hit $1.35 million this morning, only 20 minutes into trading. And yesterday, I also missed this in GameStop's official announcement from GameStop, their little troll post that they put. But our associate Greg was in there as well, which is pretty interesting. I'm surprised I missed that yesterday. Now, we all saw what's happening with GameStop's chart today. It's up 4%. It was up about about 6%, all the way at 26.85. And it's not just GameStop. BlackBerry was up about 8%, all the way up to $5 a share. You can see recently, if you watch the past couple of videos, we got into calls in the Discord server prior to earnings. Now, during that time frame, if you did jump into the calls at those exact time we called out, that would have been up a total of 19%. And that relative to the call option that you had would have been up a lot more. So shout out to anybody who continues to hold those or taken some nice profits on BlackBerry. Now, GameStop's at 26.28. We're up 4%. Where is this going to go? A lot of times when GameStop scales higher, they love to beat it down towards the end of the day. Here is a little bit of a different outlook. One, we had this pattern that we were watching, which shows GameStop should be in its squeeze formation. We should have had gap ups today. We should have had gap ups coming into next week, which we still possibly can. But they're obviously trying to beat it down. But I want to show you the cycle patterns that we had drawn out on a separate chart. Take a look at these yellow line patterns that we have drawn out. We got this flush down in the most recent one, and then we climbed up, curled, which is exactly almost where we're at right now. You can see as soon as the cycle started, we got this drop, and then we came up, curled right now. What happened after that? Well, we got a little bit of a dip to shake people out, and then we ended up rallying up to 38 bucks. And at this point, is this dip over? Maybe, maybe not. But what we can see is that the bias is bullish going forward. It doesn't have to play out the same, but if you go to the recent cycle, we see this little dip in the chart right here, which is very similar to this dip in the chart right here and similar to the bars pattern that we were tracking, right? This is a better, closer look on the 4-hour. This same move in the chart that happens most of the time when GameStop squeezes. And then we had what we have after. We had a pop higher, and then this slow climb higher with a couple of red days obviously in between as we pulled higher, right? So we had all of that play out identically. And I don't want to waste too much time on this, but we go to the recent one, same thing. We got the blip, we got the gap higher into this yellow cycle, okay? You can go back further. You can continue to go back. You got the same thing, gap, climb, right? This one ended a little bit soon back here, but it led to an even more outrageous move going forward. AMC, we're red on the day. There's really not much to say about AMC, but what we can say is a little bit of tin like we do with GameStop. Aron posted something. I'm not going to read it to you, but some people are saying this is a picture from the moon. Possibility, maybe, but what I can tell you also that's somewhat bullish is one, AMC will have sympathy towards GameStop. It usually does. GameStop's up 4%. AMC will likely build its momentum under the surface and then just randomly be up the same or more as GameStop out of nowhere. So just because AMC's looking dead, don't sleep on AMC. Calls in the next week wouldn't even be a crazy idea. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but also Ethereum Classic, I believe, is possibly bottoming out here, right here. And Ethereum Classic, AMC track each other. Ethereum Classic could be going on a run from this point on out, which would also indicate a possible bottom for AMC, which would just invalidate any sort of bearishness. Not with that alone, but with everything else. With our basket plays rallying, AMC should technically follow. GNS is another one I wanted to talk about. It's at 91 cents. We have gotten a long form of consolidation on GNS. Now, I'm bringing up GNS for a couple of reasons. Diamond Equity Research sees 270% upside in GNS up to $3.40. So that's just one thing. An analyst target of GNS to move up to 340, in which case isn't even that crazy because a lot of squeeze setups look like this where they flag out kind of and then they get another move up. But also I believe they have some court cases in the RICO filing closing over the next couple of days, and I wanted to bring this to your radar. I'm not just bringing it to Discord, and giving it to the YouTube members and subscribers right here right now as well. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. A couple last things I just wanted to briefly brush on. I wasn't certain if I was going to put them into the video. Since things have been selling off, we have been seeing Bitcoin's dominance chart continue to uptick. It came all the way down to 57. Now it scaled all the way up to 59%. Yet we're still seeing Bitcoin bleed off. What does it show us? It shows us that Altcoins as well, the entire crypto space is very, very weak, but altcoins are just bleeding a little bit faster than Bitcoin is bleeding. Ultimately, when we are going to see risk on, we should see Bitcoin's chart make a bottom somewhere and start to climb, and then Bitcoin dominance begin to fall. And that is exactly when we should possibly see altcoins begin to rally very, very hard and risk on assets rally very, very hard. But what I can tell you, just to clear up some things, no matter how weak the SPY looks, no matter how weak Bitcoin looks, correlating it to GameStop, because I know that's what most of you guys are here for, even though we make money on everything, is that the last time we ran, most of the times when we run and we run big, capital has to rotate out of these assets in order to pay for a squeeze here. And that's essentially what happens. GameStop's still up 5%, but that's essentially what happens. So don't beat yourself up on other things going red. In fact, if we see negative beta with GameStop basically inversing the SPY, could be very, very bullish for GameStop. I wasn't going to throw Tesla in the video, but I want you to watch this one closely if you feel like taking an extra trade. It's at 428 right now. If Tesla somehow is trying to close beneath 416 today on Friday, I may jump in puts coming into next week, especially if I'm feeling a slight bearish vibe on the overall market. I think Tesla could have a hard correction to 353 if the markets begin to have a 6 to 8% correction. Again, it's just a possibility. Tesla is too early to try and front run a down move. There's no confirmation of this, and I'm not telling you exactly that I'm going to make a trade here. Tesla, if the markets decide to base and rebound next week, Tesla would very quickly come towards 470, but we do have October 15th earnings on Tesla, and I would like to try and position beforehand if I wanted to try and get a possible move out of it. But overall, guys, the top 2 links in the description are going to take you to my Discord server where you can come join, talk stocks and crypto with the most amazing people, best vibes, best family in there. We also have tons and tons of trade alerts in there, and I post my trades when I take them as well, guys. Join the journey to financial freedom with like-minded people, best vibes. Again, the second link in the description, you can get my pattern detection indicator. It detects patterns and forecasts what the stock might do, and you can get it for 7 days for free, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, it's free. I appreciate the like button. Drop a comment down below to engage the algorithm. And no, we don't have a crystal ball, but everybody loves to complain before we see the move. If I'm off by a couple hours, people still love to complain in the comments, but you know, if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right. All I know is we make money in the Discord, we make money on the channel, and if you're a hater, just leave the page. But I appreciate all the support and love you guys show. I couldn't do it without you. I love you all. God bless. We will continue to evaluate these markets going forward, navigate them correctly. God bless. Lottery Stocks out.